Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Weekend. Families of Kenyan men fighting for Russia in the war against Ukraine are appealing to the government to repatriate them after some of their sons claimed they were dying and suffering in the war zone. The family of John Njeru Kariuki, one of the men, is pleading for government assistance to bring their son back home after he was shot in the head in Ukraine. This week, Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi said 200 Kenyans are fighting for Russia. Our reporter, Ode Francis, has been engaging with the families and casts new light on the issue of Kenyans in Russia's military during the Ukraine war.
Images of Kenyans who ended up in Russia for the Ukraine war, many lured with promises of salaries as high as 2 million shillings. As Russians' casualties continue to mount, so do Kenyan casualties. One example is John Njeru from Nakuru, who is nursing wounds in hospital. He wants to return home.
Okay, auntie. Nilishaumia hata si leo. Nimekaa siku kama siku kama 5 hivi. Yenye niliumia, unajua huko kuna network huko Ukraine. So ndio niliumia sana, niko hospitali but si sana. Hata uchungu iliishia kwa kichaka juu huko hakuna madawa.
Njeru's father says he does not know how his son Njeru got to Russia.
They are taking the boys and then they train them there for like 2 months. After training, they are taken out to the battleground in Ukraine. And the way I'm getting it is like is in a forest. And sometimes they will walk through a river full of bodies and such stories.
Njeru is hospitalized in the Belgorod region of Russia. Despite having no prior military experience, he was sent to the battlefield by the Russian army after just 2 weeks of military instructions.
So you can see he has, you cannot see the hand, but amefungwa some funny bandage. And he's saying they are fighting with they are not fighting with the Ukraine army. It is about drones, and I think they are in the forest and they are being targeted.
We trace another man, David Kuloba, to Kibera, where he resided before moving to Russia. I'm in Kibera, specifically in Magade area. It is at this house where David Kuloba left 3 months ago for Russia to look for employment. 3 months later, he has never contacted the family. Odi. Kuloba's mother narrates to us how her son left for Russia.
Akakuja akasema, mama, unaona Mungu venye ananisikianga, nimepata kazi nyingine. Lakini ni a watchman. Kwambia country gani? Kwanza akatuambia Germany. Kwambia ni country gani? Akanionyesha simu. Ona Russia. Kwambia ni country gani unaenda? Russia hata unangi movie surely. Hiyo country kwangi poa. Na unaenda kufanya security gani? Hatimaye tumeambiwa ni kazi. Lakini huko hivyo nimesikia pesa yenye wanalipana ukifika unapewa mita.
Say I'm good. I'm ready. I'm supposed to say I'm good. Okay.
Upon reaching Russia, Kuloba was conscripted into the Russian army.
Siku tunaongea kidogo ndiye aliendanga tu sha.
Lini sasa?
Ilikuwa hiyo mimi niliacha kuongea naye tarehe 3 tarehe 4.
Citizen TV has obtained video clips showing David undergoing military training in Russia. Before David disappeared, he sent this voice note to his family, updating them on the situation as what appears to be his final testament.
Hizo documents nimekutumia ni zenye kesho naenda mission. Na in case of anything utapigiwa simu waambiwe if kama nimekufa ama kama ndako hai. So kama ndako nimego, utachukua hizo documents utazipeleka kwa immigration ama kwa embassy. Ukizipeleka kwa embassy utaclaim, utasema mimi mtoto wako kila kitu utapeana everything utapeana hadi picha, ndakutumia kila kitu. Sawa. Shapeana kuna picha kutapatiwa. Sijui ni pechi kama whatever kuna tutapatiwa yangu sasa. Hiyo ni ile sikunda kwa maybe nimekufa ule mata inherit ni mzazi wangu.
The documents he refers to include this contract written in Russian language. It is a Russian military contract that strips the Kenyans of civilian status, converts them into soldiers, and obligates them to fight for the country. Sections of it translated read, to participate in large-scale operations, perform tasks in conditions of emergency or martial law, military prestige, armed conflict, and also participate in activities to maintain or restore international peace and security and suppress international terrorist activities outside the territory of the Russian Federation. End of quote. Kuloba is no longer David, but is now designated a different name with military number 406124-7. Kuloba's mother currently has no confirmation whether her son is deceased, but she received this message indicating his death, and I quote, "I'm sorry for David's death. He died after being blown up by a bomb. I was with him and I'm in hospital nursing injuries. I don't know what to say. My heart hurts for losing my two friends." End of quote. Another message she received is from an individual claiming to be the agent who welcomed Kuloba in Russia, named Mega, stating in a social media chat with David's mother, "You have the right to compensation for your child's death. I don't know how much money, but it's estimated to be $100,000. End of quote. Tito, not his name, managed to return to Kenya from Russia.
Hata walikuwa nakwambia vitu mzuri. Vile utapata citizenship, pia familia itatoa citizenship, malipo ilikuwa poa. Sasa nikaona tu nijaribu. Sasa vita pale ni ya drone. Sasa unatrainiwa sana kuhepa drone. Na unajua sasa ni nikichaka. So kuna wale kidogo wanashika bahati mbaya inawaripua. Na inakuchoma.
Njeru's family is pleading for assistance to bring him home.
The government should come in, and because we have an embassy, I think, in Russia, then establish how those children went there, the terms, and how they can be assisted.
Bro, wanalia. Wakiweza kuletwa, kuna mmoja niliona amesema kubali kuletwa. Wakiweza tu afike Kenya atafungua kanisa.
The Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, has conceded that Kenyans are fighting for Russia.
Reports suggest that over 200 Kenyans may have joined this adventure or misadventure, with some of them being former members of Kenya's disciplined services. It is estimated that recruitment networks are still active in both Kenya and Russia. One agent was arrested for coordinating the processing of Kenyan recruits under the guise of overseas jobs. The agent is presently in court.
Despite suspects being arrested in Kenya and arraigned, allegations persist that the trafficking pipeline remains operational with the main culprit still at large. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.